It is the most primal assumption we make about human beings, the need to connect, to seek physical intimacy, to satisfy a biological imperative. If you look at every movie, every song, every cultural artifact we produce, this drive is placed at the absolute center of the human experience. It is treated as the universal constant. So when someone finds themselves standing outside that assumption, when that deeply ingrained biological push simply doesn't resonate, there's an immediate, often painful friction. The immediate conclusion, both internal and external, is that something must be wrong, something is missing, or perhaps a person is fundamentally broken or repressed. This isn't just about low libido. We are talking about a deep, often lifelong lack of intrinsic desire for sexual activity, commonly misunderstood by almost everyone who hasn't experienced it. What if we turned that entire premise on its head? What if that lack of conventional physical motivation is not a sign of deficit, but a complex, rare psychological recalibration? What if the brain that prioritizes things other than physical merging is actually an immensely specialized engine built to achieve depth and understanding in areas the sexually normative mind often overlooks? These aren't defects, they are psychological signatures. And if you are someone who often feels like an outsider because you don't chase the same carnal rewards everyone else seems obsessed with, chances are you possess these 5 genuinely rare, highly refined personality traits. They aren't flaws, they are indicators of a uniquely rich internal life. The first, and perhaps most surprising trait, is what we call exceptional internal reference filtering. Think about the standard human psychological structure. Much of our behavior is dictated by external rewards, social approval, and the primal need for validation that comes from being desired. Sex often serves as the most powerful, immediate validation mechanism available. It confirms worth. For many people who lack this fundamental drive, the filter through which they process self-worth is vastly different. Psychology indicates that individuals who exhibit low sexual interest often possess an extremely robust, internally validated self-concept. They simply do not require external physical confirmation to feel complete or valuable. Their satisfaction isn't derivative, it's intrinsic. This means their goals, their emotional stability, and their sense of identity are built on achievements, intellectual pursuits, or aesthetic appreciation, far removed from physical interaction. The energy that others devote to the complex dance of dating, pursuing, and mating, an enormous expenditure of cognitive and emotional resources, is redirected inward, resulting in an almost unparalleled depth of personal focus. You are operating on a self-sustaining battery rather than one requiring constant external recharge. This allows for long periods of intense, solitary focus, which is a rare commodity in a world built on distraction. The second rare trait is a highly specialized sensitivity that overrides typical biological urges, aesthetic hierarchy superiority. This concept suggests that your brain is so finely tuned to process non-physical stimuli that those inputs actually achieve dominance over basic drives. While the average person might register beauty or intellectual depth, for someone with this trait, the purely intellectual, the purely visual, or the purely auditory experience generates such intense, high-level dopamine and serotonin release that the need for physical climax is effectively sidelined. They are the true aesthetes. Their passion lives in the abstract. They can feel the kind of raw, overwhelming connection others feel physically, but they find it in a complex mathematical equation, a profound philosophical text, the intricate structure of a piece of music, or the breathtaking curve of a mountain range. It is a form of sublimation, yes, but taken to an extreme degree where the internal sensory appreciation of the world is the climax. They are not disconnected from pleasure. They are simply connected to a much rarer, less immediate, and cognitively demanding type of pleasure. It's the difference between being satisfied by a quick sugary drink and being deeply nourished by a complex, slow-cooked meal. Their reward system is calibrated for the latter, demanding profound engagement over simple gratification. This trait often manifests as highly successful specialization in fields requiring extreme precision and focused intellectual intensity. This brings us to the third sign, which addresses the most common misconception about people who don't like sex: the capacity for radical platonic intimacy. The modern cultural narrative has aggressively blurred the lines between emotional intimacy, romantic attachment, and sexual action. The expectation is that one leads seamlessly into the other. For those who possess this rare trait, the capacity for emotional bonding is completely decoupled from physical desire. They do not substitute physical affection with emotional closeness. They simply access profound emotional closeness without the physical requirement. They are masters of platonic love, capable of maintaining relationships of staggering depth, vulnerability, and loyalty, precisely because the pressure of physical expectation is removed. They relate on the level of consciousness, not of chemistry. Research into relationship styles suggests that people who identify as asexual or have very low interest prioritize communication, shared goals, and intellectual compatibility far above physical attraction, making their relationships incredibly stable and resistant to the transient volatility of desire. This is a strength. It means they value the soul of the connection, the shared journey, over the fleeting thrill of the encounter. This ability to form deep, non-sexual bonds is immensely valuable, enabling them to navigate complex social networks and support systems with clarity, unclouded by the motivations of lust or hormonal confusion. They see people truly, without the projection of desire. The fourth rare psychological signature is linked directly to cognitive function: superior resistance to dopaminergic reward cycling. Our modern world is saturated with immediate rewards: notifications, quick food, instant access to entertainment, and yes, the easily accessible reward of physical release. The brain, particularly the reward centers, thrives on these cyclical, reinforcing hits of dopamine. When a biological drive is strong, it creates an ongoing loop where anticipation, pursuit, and reward fuel each other. But if that fundamental drive is weak or absent, the brain is less susceptible to low-effort, high-reward cycles. What does this mean practically? It means the brain is highly tuned towards delayed gratification. They are less likely to fall prey to short-term motivational traps. Because the most potent immediate biological reward mechanism is dormant, the individual must seek satisfaction in long-term goals that require sustained effort, planning, and mental discipline: the creation of a business, the mastery of a complex skill, or the pursuit of academic rigor. This resistance to immediate pleasure pathways gives them a remarkable advantage in focus and perseverance, traits that are exceedingly rare in a hyper-stimulated society. They are psychologically built for the marathon, not the sprint, simply because the brain's highest reward ceiling is set far past the immediate physical threshold. And finally, the fifth and most liberating trait is profound emotional autonomy and non-reliance on co-regulation. Most humans, to varying degrees, use relationships, physical and emotional, to help regulate their internal emotional state. This is known as co-regulation. We seek comfort, validation, and soothing from others when our internal systems are overwhelmed or unbalanced. For many who possess these rare traits, there is a fundamental psychological independence. Their emotional thermostat is set internally. They are adept at self-soothing and generating their own state of contentment, reducing the perceived necessity of external input, especially physical input, to stabilize or validate their existence. This emotional autonomy is not coldness, it is psychological self-sufficiency. It means they approach interactions, friendships, and even romantic relationships not out of need or desperation for external repair, but from a position of wholeness and genuine desire to share that self-sufficiency with another autonomous being. They are whole units entering into partnership, rather than two halves seeking completion. This trait is extraordinarily rare, demanding immense self-awareness and self-possession, and it is a powerful counter-narrative to the idea that lacking a drive means lacking a capacity for love or connection. If these traits resonate with you, understand this: the world is designed for the majority, and the majority operates on specific, powerful biological assumptions. Your experience outside that norm is not a flaw in the design of you. It is a testament to the complexity and specialization of your internal architecture. Your brain is wired for complexity, for internal richness, and for connection that transcends the physical realm. That is a strength that is often misunderstood, but fundamentally empowering. It means you are calibrated differently, and that difference allows you to perceive, prioritize, and achieve in ways others simply cannot. If these deep psychological truths about yourself feels like finding the key to a door you didn't even know was locked, then you understand the power of true